Welcome to a new episode. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about my art journey. So, let's start from the age of 3. I always go back to this age for some reason. I don't know why. I don't even know if this is the age that started it all. But 3 is a significant number for me anyway. So that's probably why I go with the age of 3. So when I was younger, my earliest memory of making art was doodling on my favorite Dr. Seuss book. It was the ABCs. I brought that book like a sketchbook. Everywhere I went, it was with me. I just remember specifically doodling on the side of the book. I remember doodling a person. I do have a drawing from my niece. She drew me a picture of these people and they look like little creatures. But when she gave it to me, it gave me goosebumps because it reminded me so much of how my drawings used to look like when I was younger. So if I can find that photo, I will insert it right here for you guys. But that's how my drawings used to look like when I was younger. Another memory of me drawing when I was younger was doing still life. But I just remember this scene of myself in a living room laying on my stomach, and I had put my teddy bear at the edge of the couch, and I had a piece of computer paper with me on a clipboard, and I started drawing it. I wish my parents had documented me drawing when I was younger because I love to reminisce on those old times. And like most people who were born in the 80s, I watched Bob Ross all the time. I would be so glued to the TV every time he would be painting. It was just so calming, and I was so inspired at such a young age. And I knew from that day forward that I wanted to be an artist. Of course, when people ask me what do you want to be when you grow up? I had other things on my mind too. I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be an actor. But being an artist was top priority for me. So yeah, I just wanted to be an artist. I just wanted to draw and paint all day. I remember in elementary school, during scholastics, there was one particular book that I was always so excited to get, and it was Amelia's notebook. So Amelia's notebook, I will insert a photo here, was seriously my favorite books of all time. It was basically a girl that had a journal, and she would write about her life, but she would always draw little things throughout her day, and she would use that as a scrapbook. But it was so cute. I would buy composition notebooks and just try to replicate that kind of style. A few years ago, I used to keep a moment diary, so just illustrating things from my daily life. I drew so much inspiration from those books, Amelia's notebook. So in late elementary to middle school, I was obsessed with Sailor Moon, Betty and Veronica comic books, and Daria. Oh my goodness. I used to go to the comic book store. I would beg my parents to bring me just so I can buy Betty and Veronica comic books and all this Sailor Moon stuff, like trading cards and all that. So yeah, I went through this whole phase of just reading so many comic books and Sailor Moon and even Daria. Daria became such a huge part of my art journey. When I kind of stopped my anime phase, I started to mesh Betty and Veronica and Daria and making my own characters. I would take a bunch of printer paper and I would fold it in half, bind it with staples, and I would make my own little books. Now, I never completed my books. I would only go through a few pages, making my own different scenes. I would watch all these Daria episodes and just get inspiration from that. I was really obsessed with making different characters and making their outfits and making stories. And then when I got into high school, I kind of stopped doing that. I did continue to draw. I would, draw girly characters. I would draw me and my friends. I was still obsessed with Daria. I was wasn't too much into Birdie and Veronica in high school, but Daria was still very prominent. And this was like around the whole MySpace days. I graduated high school in 2005, so when did MySpace start? Let me see. When did MySpace come out? 2003. So yeah, I was in high school. So if you guys were part of that era, the whole MySpace days, you know, y'all learned how to code. We all learned HTML, how to like fix our pages. And that really sparked my interest in graphic design. I was so obsessed with making websites. Now, I don't know how this actually happened. Probably connecting with people through LiveJournal and MySpace, maybe. But there are these people who made their own websites, and they would have sub pages with other people, if that makes sense. I was a part of 2 different websites, and we just became like a domain family, which was so cool back then. There would be like one main person who bought the domain, and then they would, I guess, recruit people to be a part of the domain. So they would make their own sub websites. But it was really fun because I got to really be creative with vectored illustrations. I made my own layouts. And that was my first taste of like digital illustration. So at the time, like early 2000, I was mainly making digital art through Photoshop. And I remember my brother gave me his old Wacom tablet and I started playing around with that. But yeah, I was really into vectored illustrations. I'm so sad I don't have any of those layouts anymore because my old external hard drive is corrupted. But yeah, like our websites would just have pages like about me. We'd have our own blogs. And yeah, it was really fun. I kind of missed those days. I don't remember any HTML codes anymore. I used to be such a pro at it, but now I just use Squarespace and it's so easy to just move things around. And I don't have to put like HTML codes. But yeah, that era, early 2000s, was so fun. So that was a huge part of my high school days. Making websites, blogging, MySpace, LiveJournal, and I would share my drawings too. So all throughout high school, I didn't have a particular style. I was still trying to figure it out. Through MySpace and LiveJournal, I found so many different artists, and there are some popular ones that I'm sure a lot of you guys can remember. I just don't remember the artists' names. There's also this artist that did a lot of like cute characters that were just all about love. I really liked their work, and I remember I had a really thick sketchbook and I would make my own versions of it. I didn't post it online because, of course, that's like plagiarism, but it was just more for myself to really try to find my own style. But I did a lot of sketches of people, different characters. I didn't work with any paints yet. I did a lot of like pencil sketches, inks. I think I worked with colored pencils. I remember in high school, when like in high school back then, like early 2000, you'd have your binder, right? With like the clear sleeves and then putting all of your favorite things on your binder, photos of you and your friends, just cute stuff that you like. And I remember putting on my binder. I used to be so into this. I would make a character. I remember drawing with a Sharpie pen, like this one. This was my favorite pen to use. This is the Sharpie, like the really thin liner. I used to draw with this a lot. And I would make characters and then I would write my name in a really cute way. I remember I had my name, I put Char and I made it into like a bubble letters and I had a character right next to it. And all my friends in my classes were like, oh my gosh, Char, that's so cute. Like, can you make me one too? And so I ended up making some for my friends and it just became a thing. In high school, I didn't have a lot of art classes. The only art class I took was my senior year. And I was so excited about it. I was always looking forward to that class. I, of course, aced that class. Didn't do well in math and science, but art, girl, got an A. I was like so excited to go in every day and just improve in my art skills. And when it came to graduation and your teachers would ask you like, what are you going to go in for college? What are you going to major in? I, of course, wanted to be an artist. But around that time, a lot of people in my life, especially my parents, would tell me that you can't make money from being an artist. Like, you have to find a really stable job. Even though I envisioned myself as an artist, just painting on canvas and just painting and drawing all day long. I just listened to my parents. I listened to everyone around me, and of course wanted to go into something that was creative. So I thought about majoring in graphic design, and I did in the beginning. I almost completed my major in graphic design, but when it got to the point when I was just so frustrated and I just was feeling drained, depressed, and not happy, that's when I decided to switch my major. And so after that, I was trying to think of like, what else is there for me to pursue? Like, what do I want to do? Like, I don't want to do graphic design anymore. I mean, I love doing it on my free time, but as a career, I just couldn't see myself doing it. Then I thought, there's other things that I was interested in. I was interested in fashion. I was also interested in interior design. And so I kept asking myself, like, what really makes you happy? And first thing, of course, came to mind was art. So I changed my major from graphic design to two-dimensional fine art. And that's what I graduated with honors. Now, I will say that for the longest time, I was kind of embarrassed that I didn't go to a university. I did apply to SDSU, but didn't get accepted because it was around the time when we had a recession. So my major was impacted and I applied twice, didn't get in. And so I felt discouraged, but I was also relieved because I didn't have to worry about, paying so much money for school. I just didn't want to worry about that. So I decided to just finish at my community college. So I graduated from San Diego City College. I loved it so much. It was honestly the best years of my life because I really got to do what I truly wanted to do. I just had the best time at that school. Like, spending 3 hours per class just drawing and painting, it was amazing. I learned so much from my professors. In those courses, I worked with graphite, charcoal, oil pastels, but my primary painting medium was acrylic paint. So acrylic paint was my primary medium for several years. I worked a lot on canvas, and I will insert some images here for you guys to see. But yeah, I spent several years painting on canvas, and back then my work was very photorealism. And that's kind of what I stuck with for so many years. So even after graduating college, I was still working on canvas. I worked with acrylic paint. I started doing some commissions. I remember my biggest commission was for a family friend. It was so huge. I will insert it here. That one, I actually had to make a custom canvas at a local shop, and I was so proud. I felt like this is the peak of me being an artist. I've never made a custom canvas before and having to gesso it myself. And it was just really fun. It took me a while to complete it, but it was one of my biggest accomplishments. And rest in peace to my Lola that passed away. That was the commission for her. She passed away last year. She was really happy about it when I gave it to her. So after a while, I got tired of painting with acrylic on canvas. and I wanted to venture out into different mediums. And then I started to play around with watercolor. The first watercolor set I bought was very cheap. It was the Prang watercolors that you use in elementary school. So I wanted to test those out first to get myself used to painting with it. And then, my goodness, I think it was like 2013 when I discovered Urban Sketch. It was through YouTube. It was a video I saw on YouTube by Danny Gregory. So the video was of him drawing his breakfast. So I was really inspired. I bought a sketchbook and I just started drawing my own breakfast too. And then I found out that he made books. So I ended up buying a couple of his books. One of his books, I don't remember the name, but I will insert it down below. But that book was filled with so many different urban sketchers all over the world. And I was just so inspired that I wanted to really get into urban sketch. And honestly, that is what really sparked me to start my YouTube channel. So I started my YouTube channel in February of 2014. Oh my gosh, so I'm almost gonna be 8 years of me on YouTube. So yeah, I started filming urban sketch videos and I started to really fill up my sketchbooks. And it's also one of the reasons why I wanted to get into urban sketch is because I have never filled up a sketchbook in my life. So I felt that if I drew consistently of the things that were around me, like going out in nature, going out to a restaurant, coffee shop, or even at home, I can just draw whatever is in front of me. I feel like through urban sketch, I was able to truly find my art style. And just saying that, I just got goosebumps because it's true. I owe it all to urban sketch, and I learned so much through this practice. Early on in my art journey on like Instagram and on YouTube, I was still into drawing girly characters. If you guys remember, I used to call them doodleinas, which is a name that my friend helped me make. Ian, if you're watching this, hello. 2016, 2017 was when I kind of fell off of all that. I'm not going to talk about my personal life, but I did go through some stuff. I had this whole spiritual awakening, which you can probably tell from my old videos because I wasn't consistent in making videos. I changed my content a lot. And it was because I was going through this whole spiritual journey. I was learning more about myself. I did a lot of like inner work. I questioned so much. Like I asked myself so many times, like, what is my purpose here in life? Like, what am I here to do? And during that time period, I had lost so many subscribers, because I was constantly changing my content. And I was really discouraged because of that, because I felt like I lost so much of my community and I was almost depressed because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I spent those few years just rediscovering myself. And then I decided to work a full-time job, which honestly made it even worse for me because I didn't have time for my art. I tried to make time, but I was just so drained from working that full-time job. And so after a couple years, I left that job. The night before I decided to quit my full-time job, I had this voice in my head. Like, I feel like it might have been like my spirit guides or my angels. I don't know, but I never felt that before. And the voice was pretty much telling me, like, quit the job. You are not happy. I was not expecting to cry right now. But yeah, just thinking back to that day, how I felt, I was not happy. I was so not happy. The voice kept repeating it, like, you need to quit, you're not happy. You need to quit, you're not happy. And I knew it wasn't my voice because I was so indecisive. So yeah, I quit December 2019 and the pandemic hit. And I had all of this time to work on my art and my video content. And those past couple of years, I just spent so much time just trying to understand, like, what is my purpose here in life? I did a lot of practices, like healing practices, learning from different people. And then I worked with my spiritual coach, Shannon, for 6 months. So I started working with her late summer, and she helped me a lot with just releasing a lot of, limiting beliefs, trauma. And what came up for me during that time was that I had to really work through self-worth issues, my whole money mindset. Even till this day, I'm still working on that because I feel like there's still some blockages that I need to release before I can truly be who I need to be in this life. Also in 2020, I went through a training to be a mindfulness and meditation teacher, which is why now I call myself a mindfulness artist. So through working with my spiritual coach and learning more about myself through astrology and human design, having all this knowledge about myself and all this awareness, I now know what I'm here to do. So like I mentioned earlier, urban sketch is a huge part of my art journey. And now that I have so much knowledge with mindfulness and just going through my whole spiritual journey, I realize that urban sketch is a beautiful way to practice mindfulness. It just all connected. It all made sense that, going out on location and drawing my surroundings, being in the present moment, it's a mindfulness practice. And I just now realize that. I felt like I had to go through this spiritual awakening and to feel this pull to get certified in meditation and mindfulness because it's a huge part of my life. I meditate every day. Mindfulness is very important to me. So I felt that this whole spiritual journey was very necessary for my art career and just my creativity because, I felt so lost, but I found my way back, but with a whole new perspective on it. So with that said, urban sketch is back. I'm going to be starting out filming urban sketch videos on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, definitely give me a follow at Char, Villena. So I did start filming a couple videos. I just haven't been going out as much because I'm still very cautious with the whole COVID situation. But as things get better, I will definitely be going out more to film for my TikTok videos and just getting back into urban sketch because I still have sketchbooks that I need to fill up. So the reason why I decided to bring urban sketch on my TikTok is because it'll be easier for me to film on my phone. I've been filming a lot on my phone these days for my TikTok. But yeah, I feel like with TikTok, it's going to be definitely more raw, not super curated, not super edited, and cinematic. I feel like with my YouTube, I definitely want it to be more cinematic, which is why I prefer to have someone there with me filming because I need to get the right angles. I'm very particular with how I film videos, so I'm excited to bring urban sketch back with a more mindfulness approach to it and sharing my experiences because when you're sketching or making art in general, you're really in the present moment. What I love to focus on is my 5 senses. So when I'm drawing, even if it's on my iPad on Procreate, I love to draw with no distractions. Sometimes I will draw while I'm watching YouTube or listening to music, but most of the time now, I love to draw in silence. So as I'm sketching, I love to really pay attention to the lines, the colors I use, and also being aware of my surroundings. So a lot of times when I'm drawing, I can hear birds chirping outside or cars passing by, or I'll hear my family in the background. So sharing those experiences in my videos is going to be really nice and calming because one of the main things I want to do is to inspire people to be more mindful every single day, to be in the present moment. So some people might think a mindfulness artist is someone who makes mandalas or repetitive shapes or patterns. But I wanted to approach mindfulness in the way that I know how, and that's documenting the little joys in my life. You know, whether it be a cup of my coffee or the people that surround me or the buildings outside or, you know, being in nature. Those things, those little things that we usually take for granted are the things that I love to document. And I want to continue inspiring more people to appreciate life through art. So that's where I am right now. I'm a mindfulness artist and I'm proud of it. And I can't wait to continue making more videos, more urban sketch videos, and just sharing my own mindfulness practices with you guys through my vlogs and just appreciating life. Because we do live in a society where, you know, we're kind of programmed to live a very fast-paced lifestyle. And I am definitely the opposite of that. I prefer to live more intentionally. So that is my art journey. I feel like I left out a lot of things. So before I go, I do want to share some affirmations. I'm all about positive affirmations. This one is all about creativity. So I will write them all down below so you can repeat them. I create from a place of abundance and joy. I am always tapped into my creative energy. I have a powerful and vivid imagination. I am inspiring others and impacting lives through my art. I am always satisfied with my creative work. I am a highly creative being. And lastly, creativity comes naturally to me. All right, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all having a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.